Hey collectors, here is a comparison video of different companies with their head sculpts, interpretation of how the characters and actors' likeness is translated into plastic form, and most of these are under the 6-inch scale. Starting off with the Hasbro line, the improvement with the likeness and sculpting of an actor started with this Chris Evans as Captain America Endgame. This is the verticap version. The problem with this figure is that it's too short compared to the other characters in the film made into action figures. Then there's another step forward when the Mark 85 2-pack with Thanos was released with the head sculpt of Robert Downey Jr. And this time, the head sculpt is a little large for the 6-inch body that it came with. And the recently released Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the Deadpool and Wolverine film is the best scaled wise attempt of Hasbro, and it really captures the likeness of the actor. So Hasbro has been progressing positively on capturing the image of each actor in their films. But then, probably with some licensing issues, the head sculpt of Ryan Reynolds has never been released in the MCU line. And this head sculpt is from Dad Bods. And this custom head sculpt is really close to what Ryan Reynolds looks like unmasked in the film Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine. And this is the best head sculpt I can get my hands on so that I could display these two side by side without any mask. Here is a group shot of all the MCU characters, and you can see the sculpting progression of Hasbro with the likeness of the actors. And of course, Wade is a third party named Dadbuds, and he fits perfectly with all these characters. Licensing aside, there are other companies that have already released their version of the Dark Knight Batman. But for me, the mass produced best head sculpt so far that captures the likeness of Christian Bale is this one by Modoking Model Kit. Although the body is a little bit thin, but at least this one is much closer to what he looks like without the mask or helmet in the film. And this is how he stands up besides the custom head sculpt by Dad Buds for Wade as Deadpool. Like Batman, there are other companies that have already released action figures of the Man of Steel from Zack Snyder's Justice League and Batman vs. Superman film. But the best head sculpt for me as of the moment is this one by Manipple. And also the body is from Manipple. And this is based on Mesco's release of their BVS Superman. Manipple has captured the likeness of Henry Cavill. That, in some ways, you can say you are holding a small version of the 1 is to 6 scale Hot Toys release. And this is what he looks like besides the Modoking version of the Dark Knight action figure. Aside from third companies capturing the likeness of the actors, there is also Neca. And this is by far the best head sculpt in mass produced figures that I've ever come across with. This is Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown from Back to the Future Part 1. Although he is taller than most 6-inch scale figures, but we are talking about how good the head sculpts are. And this figure comes with two head sculpts, and this is the open mouth version. Compare it to the Manipple, just a little bit of refining the skin tone, and these two would have look almost at the same level. And aside from Neca, there is also the Bandai version of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. And this model kit is my favorite because Buzz Lightyear can stand straight with his arms straight on his side and not like the usual pose you can see in other toy lines. And of course, the head sculpt. This one, in a way, perfectly captures Buzz Lightyear when he is smiling. And this is how the two looks like. The NECA, Dr. Emmett Brown, and Buzz Lightyear. And just when you think the likeness wars is over because of some great releases by licensed company and third parties, here comes InArt with their offering of Bruce Wayne from the Dark Knight Trilogy film, and this is their rendition of Christian Bale playing the character. And not only did they perfectly capture the likeness of the actor, they also got the details for the bat suit very well. My only complaint for this figure is that it's a little bit too short when you put him beside the other 6-inch figures with other toy companies. And this is how he looks like besides Buzz Lightyear from Bandai Model Kit. Aside from the head sculpt released by InArt for Christian Bale as the Dark Knight, Batman, or Bruce Wayne, and the Manipple version of Henry Cavill for the BVS or Justice League Superman. Years ago, Manipple also released another head sculpt for Christian Bale, and this head sculpt is based on what Hot Toys produced for their 1:4 scale figure of Batman from the Dark Knight trilogy. And this head sculpt can be placed both with the Mafex or SH Figure Arts version of the figure. But comparing it to the presently released InArt, that one is really now outdated. And this is how the three head sculpts look like side by side. And finally, here is another group shot of all the figures with different companies and their different takes on how to capture the likeness of each actors for their characters in their respective films. And with that, thank you all for watching and see you all again next video.